Welcome, everyone, to Chapter 6 of the 9 Trials. When we last left off, the shadows and sacrifice of the previous trials revealed themselves. Kirsch and Princess Snowball were introduced to the harsh realities of the life and death of the great outdoors, and it became more clear as to Dirt Cat's motivations. But not everyone's motivations are quite so clear. My name is Anne, and I will be your storyteller.
My name is Dustin, and I play Jitters the cat.
My name is Frances, and I play Princess Snowball.
My name is Kay, and I play Kirsch.
Last we left, Jitters was looking out the window of the plastic playhouse and watching the long shadows of morning turn into the shorter shadows of the day across the barren landscape of what is now, to Jitters, for you, a heart-heavy scene of broken toys. You hear kind of a light crunch sound across the grass, and then a knock on the plastic door of the playhouse.
Am I looking? I was looking out the one of the windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is my back to them or to the door, or
You're looking out the window. You didn't see anything approach. You just heard crunch, knock.
what? I kind of stick my head out and actually look down at the door, and I'm like, what do I see?
You peer your nose over the top of the plastic door, and sitting there is a very, very tiny cat who's looking kind of expectantly around after having knocked on the door. He doesn't see you.
What do you want?
Oh, excuse me, sir. Lord Sassafras has requested your presence. It's a teeny tiny little cream-colored cat.
Okay, fine. We'll be right there. And I of course, when I stick my head out, probably have these huge bags under my eyes, and my eyes are probably just completely bloodshot because I probably did not blink most of the night. But as soon as I stick my head back in, I'm like, "All right, guys, wake up!" And I start like making racket.
Oh.
Snuffles wakes up and realizes that as he was asleep, his tail wrapped around the sleeping Kirsch. And when he noticed it, he's like, and makes a big deal, sort of stretching in the other direction. Dude, what's up, man? What's up?
All right, it's time for us to go. We've been summoned by Lord Sassafras. So, come on, get up. Let's get ready to go. And as everyone starts to kind of get up, I walk towards the front door and just kind of kick it open.
Why are
The
you
poor
making
little
so much
cream
noise?
cat. Let me check for the poor little cream cat who's been waiting outside for you. Yeah, he takes the plastic door right into the nose, and he kind of goes, whiskers over a tea kettle, and sits up and shakes it off, and is
You're
still
still
looking
here?
around expectantly.
You're still here? Oh, we're coming. We're coming.
Lord Sassafras requests.
Yes. He
Okay.
requested. Okay, good. Everyone, I turn around and like in the door and half out the door. Is everyone coming?
Kirsch is very half asleep and kind of like stumbling a little bit. Like, she was able to get sleep, but it wasn't great. So she's just kind of bleary eyed, like bumping into the other cats and like swaying a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Princess Snowball probably does not look very good. She's got like some twigs in her, kind of stuck in her fur, like probably like a small twig in her, like kind of on her head, and maybe like a leaf somewhere. but she's like muddy and it's not looking great. This is probably the worst she's ever looked, but nobody tell her that, please.
As
She will
Jitters
die.
kind of like notices Snowball, this is like the first time, Princess Snowball. This is
Mhm.
the first time that he's actually probably seen her disheveled in any way, shape, or form, and he's kind of going, "Ha!" He
What?
kind of has like a joke. Nothing. Is everyone ready to go? And he kind of like turns around.
Yeah, I guess so.
Stiff from the day before, Dirt Cat stands up, stretches the best he can. He goes to stretch the back right leg, and it's pretty stiff, but he slept pretty hard. He follows out the door, as does Snuffles. He will follow Jitters.
Okay, and I walk up to the little cream colored cat. Sorry about that. Okay, so lead the way.
Follow me. You can tell he's trying to be very formal, and it's a little endearing. He's kind of cute. Um, you follow him. He takes you back up the alley and down by the park. He's clearly leading you to the clearing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys follow him up the street into the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we're kind of walking along, you know, when like you're really tired and really grumpy, you kind of mumble
Mm-hmm.
to yourself a little bit. Um, Jitters is kind of mumbling to himself, just kind of like, "Oh yeah, you really had to send someone for us. You know, like we didn't know where to go."
The poor little cat who was so proud of his first assignment is feeling a little self conscious now about his job. He's like, oh, but he does his best to lead you with a an air of ceremony into the clearing. As you enter the clearing, you see Lord Sassafras, and he's on top of the log and he's pacing back and forth in front of the log. Everyone roll your instinct, please. First roll of the night.
Here we go. Ah. So I have a 70 and I rolled an 83. These are I don't like these dice.
Um, I got an 83, which is higher than anything I have.
Princess Snowball.
I got a 96.
We're just
Wow.
all
We all
tired.
rolled.
You guys are all tired and a little bleary eyed, and it's a little different, Lord Sassafras's demeanor. You haven't seen him this way before. He's still very regal and dashing, but there's definitely an energy to his pacing, and he seems troubled a little bit. And you enter the clearing.
So I'm still following up behind the beige color or the cream colored cat.
Cream color cat. The little cream color cat comes up to the edge of the log. Lord Sassafras. Lord Sassafras stops pacing and he turns and he sees you and he says, "Oh, very good, very good. You have done a great job." And the little cream color cat, kind of like, "Oh, I did a good job," and he goes off to the edge. He goes off to the edge of the clearing where there's some bushes and some smaller trees, and you see other little movement. So it's clear that there are other animals or somebody else is watching whatever is about to go down, go down. Um, Lord Sassafras, Anthony, Anthony, and you see Anthony come up, and in his paws he has several pouches of tuna. He comes around to the front of the log and very purposefully and again sort of ceremoniously puts one pouch of tuna down in front of each of you, and then he steps back.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just kind of like look at it and just kind of as unceremoniously as humanly possible or as catly possible. I I kind of just open it up, take like the whole thing of tuna and just shove it in my mouth.
Nice. Kirsch?
I'm kind of struggling with the bag. Just kind of nibbling at the edge of it. Like, it's not happening yet.
Princess Snowball?
I'm just like kind of grooming myself, trying to like fix my fur. Probably not really paying attention to whatever Lord Sassafras is saying.
All right. Lord Sassafras pauses for a moment as some of us attack our tuna. Dirt Cat is definitely going to dig into his tuna. He's still hurting and needs some help from the evening before. Snuffles will come over and help Kirsch open her pack before he helps himself to the tuna in his own pack.
Thank you.
Lord Sassafras paces just for a second more, realizing that there's some gulping of tuna happening, so he's going to wait for a moment. When he thinks an appropriate amount of time has passed, he sits almost directly in the middle of the log, and his tail is dangling outside on the back of a log. And he says, "Interesting. What has happened last night? Can you recount for me what exactly happened?"
What happened? What you want? Besides the fact that it really truly seemed like we had a coyote hunting us from the beginning. Is that what you're talking about?
Wait, is that what happened?
I have never, in all of my years being an outdoor cat, have never had a coyote go through that much trouble to get a snack. Usually we could go somewhere and find a way to deter the coyotes very easily, to where they're like, oh, let's go find someplace easier to get some food. But this coyote? You mean the coyote that was kind of truly just seemed to be wanting us? You mean that? You mean that strange thing?
At the sound of his voice, Princess Snowball finally looks up, and she just kind of nods along, and then like starts to eat her tuna, like almost like popcorn, just like watching and nodding.
So Princess Snowball is taking in the show.
Yes, absolutely. This is much more entertaining.
And just to kind of describe a little bit more of what Princess Snowball and everyone else probably does see with Jitters is that he is like he is kind of just on his haunches, but every single muscle in his body is very, very tense, and like one eye is bigger than the other, and it's kind of twitching while he's giving this whole speech.
Lord Sassafras jumps down from the log and comes up to you. He's closer to you, but it's still a respectful distance. And he says, my good man, this is our interpretation also. I want you to know that this coyote that you encountered last night is not a coyote that is known to us.
What do you mean you know the coyotes?
Can I roll instinct or something to see if I think he's telling the truth?
Yes, please do.
I rolled a 20 and I have a 60 instinct.
He is telling the truth. There is more depth to this truth, but he is definitely telling the truth. You feel like there's another layer to it, but for sure, the coyote is not known to him. Kirsch, did you ask a question?
Yeah. Do you know the coyotes?
Of course, we know the coyotes. And he walks over to Kirsch. My dear young one, it is part of what all of this is about. All of this in the social structure, the checks and balances that keep our neighborhood alive. Yes, we have a treaty with the coyotes in this neighborhood that is observed by all those who are part of this community. But this coyote, and he continues to walk down the line, he's getting a little closer to Dirt Cat and Princess Snowball. This coyote that we observed last night is, and he spins on his heels, not known to us.
Ah, yeah. Kirsch, in other words, you kind of get used to you kind of figure out like who's constantly hunting in the area after a while. You kind of get a sense of it. But so in other words, this is someone from out of town.
That's a lot of big words to say that you don't know what happened.
No, he doesn't know. It's more along the lines of he doesn't know who was the happening or the one who was doing the happening. He doesn't know the coyote. Yeah, he's not familiar with this coyote.
He walks up and down the line and says, "My friends, if there is anything you can think of that could help us figure out where this coyote came from, anything you remember from last night."
Well, it's definitely a she, and she did mention that she had pups. So
Interesting.
I do remember
says.
that. She said, did she say my children would eat well, or my puppies will eat well, or my kid? It was something like that.
Princess Snowball, what are you doing?
I'm just eating my tuna, watching the show. She's still waking up, or not even waking up. She's like half asleep. She needs time. This is all new.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
puppies, you say? Children, you say?
Yes.
A mother coyote is indeed a dangerous thing. You see him continue to think. One of his eyes kind of closes a little, not closes a little, like squints in thought.
Well, I've had some time to think, seeing how I didn't sleep last night. Someone obviously does not want us to finish these trials. Maybe that might help on who found this coyote. What else? So many of my thoughts are blurry right now. I had so many thoughts when I was on watch. But it just boggles. That's a big word. That it just boggles my mind. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense that the coyote would go follow us in a weird pattern to a place to where there were dogs and a fence and a difficult obstacle to get past. It doesn't make any sense why this coyote would be so determined on us.
Princess Snowball finishes the last of her tuna, and she licks her paws, and then she yawns. I don't think he's telling us everything.
You say that out loud?
I do say that out loud.
Good times. He sees you, like his eyes right to you when you say that. But he is a fairly slick politician, and he spins that, and he says, "Why, yes, of course, I have one more announcement. I haven't told you everything." And he jumps back onto the log, and he says, "Very few make it to this point of the 9 trials. And in this point of the 9 trials, we customize and work the next tasks for the specific initiates. And friends, I believe that our next trial is right in front of us." He kind of pauses dramatically. He says, "We have a mystery to solve. And friends, I believe you're the ones to solve it."
I believe you set us up to fail Quite obviously. That's absurd.
Absurd?
Yes. What an absurd expectation to set. Trials, sure, they should be challenging, but having a bunch of cats figure out where a mysterious coyote came from, what a ridiculous expectation to set on us. You want us to fail.
He jumps off the log and slowly walks over to you. And he says, "My friend, I would like nothing more than to welcome you into the bosom of our cat community. But while there are dangers about, it affects all of us, you see. Don't you care about the cat community?"
Of course, I care about the cat community, but if you cared about the cat community, wouldn't you send your most experienced cats to take care of a serious problem that's affecting this community instead of just giving up your newest recruits to probably die?
Yeah, she's kind of
At
got a
that
point
point,
there.
she finds like a tiny little piece of tuna that was like stuck in there. She like picks it up and like plops it in her mouth. She's like still half asleep, so she's just saying this all like not even really putting in much effort to it.
Can you
Just
roll your purr, please?
absolutely, I would love to do that. And
I want to see what he thinks of this.
I rolled a 30 and I have a 70 in purr.
He nods slowly. "You make a convincing argument. I will not send you out there alone. In fact," and he kind of gets not conspiratorial, but he motions for all of you to gather around him in a small group. Um, and he lowers his voice ever so slightly. Do you guys gather around?
Yes,
Well,
Slowly.
slowly. Yeah.
I do, but like not even just slowly, like just at my own leisurely pace.
You guys are making it very hard for him to feel very grand. He lowers his voice a little bit and says, "I will give you assistance." He looks to the side and he looks to the other side and he says, "The squirrels, my friends. The squirrels are full of secrets. And if anybody knows what has happened, they can help us.
Like the secrets are
Find
in their
this.
tummies?
I no no, they're not in their tum. They're filled like they're. He just kind of blinks at you for a second. Their brains are filled with secrets. My young charming friend.
Okay.
Here, this is what we shall do. This is what we shall do. Find the squirrels and question them, and return with whatever you have found. This shall be your next trial."
Find squirrels. Question, come back.
He
Okay.
nods.
Any squirrel?
You may have to question a few squirrels, but the squirrel network is, how do I say this, a network. And they share their secrets. They jump from tree to tree, chittering their secrets to each other.
Sounds like some cats I know.
Squirrels.
Minus the trees.
He gives you see his ear just turn towards you for a second and then slowly come back. He heard you. Friends, you have eaten your tuna. I see that not all of us have gotten a good rest. Perhaps a good rest is in order, but my friends, I cannot put upon you how important and how pressing it is to find out about what danger is now encroaching in our neighborhood. As soon as you can, please return with whatever information you glean.
Well, hold on. I I do still have one little predicament here. Um, you see, so if we are going to be going out on in the name of the cat community, maybe then we could be made honorable members of the cat community. Because if we go up to a random squirrel and ask, say, oh, you need to tell us your deepest, darkest secrets, and they're going to be like, we're not going to tell them to some random cat, but maybe a member or an honorary member of the cat community would be able to get some more information out of them, seeing how, we are doing not only just a challenge, but a service to the cat community.
He pauses and looks at you, and he says the name of the little cream-colored cat. I need a name for the little cream-colored cat.
Jacques.
He says, Jacques. I'm writing that down. Oh my gosh. That just popped
No.
right out. No discussion, whatever. Yeah, it's Jacques. Okay.
I thought of the little guy from Finding Nemo, the crab that cleans the aquarium.
Yeah.
He pauses and says, Jacques. And when he does, actually, you see that Anthony was about to step forward because he is the one that's sort of been Lord Sassafras's right-hand man. And when he says Jacques' name, he actually takes a slow step back, like, all right. Jacques comes, like, sort of popping forward. He's very excited about this new job of his. Yes, yes, sir. And Lord Sassafras says, the acorns, Jacques. Oh, yes, sir. And Jacques goes behind the log and then kind of scurries behind a tree, trying to make it look like nobody saw him. But I mean, he's not that slick. Y'all saw him. You hear a scratch, scratch, scratch sound, and he comes back and kind of repeats the pattern as if he's being all stealthy. But yeah, no, you see him. And he comes back to Lord Sassafras, and he's got a little something in his hand, and he hands it to Lord Sassafras. And Sassafras gives him a nod, and Jacques, knowing that he's done such a marvelous job, pops back over to the side. Everyone roll your instinct real quick.
Okay.
Oh, no, that fell on the floor. Hold on.
Oh, son of a... The dice must know that I did not get a good night's rest. I rolled a 95.
Oof.
Dang.
Wow.
I got a 31 and I have an instinct of 60.
Nice. Kirsch?
I got a 25 out of 37.
Princess Snowball, because you've had some interactions with Anthony, he's gone from to perturbed. Kirsch, you don't know Anthony quite as well, but you can tell that this isn't a happy raccoon. Lord Sassafras jumps down off the log and he puts on the ground in between all of you a whole perfect walnut.
Oh, that's going to get them to talk.
He says, find the leader of the squirrels, present her with this, and she will know that you represent me.
All right. Okay. Now we have a little bit more to go on. Good to know. Okay, so take walnuts, find Queen of Squirrels, and get her to... Oh, yeah, from Lord Sassafras. Got it. Okay. And as he's kind of like grumbling, he goes over to the walnut and very delicately picks it up.
I just look up from, like, grooming myself and just say, this is a much more acceptable task.
Oh my. Again, his ear turns towards you and turns back. He heard you, but he's choosing not to acknowledge that you said this.
Oh my.
Oh my. He loves that log. He jumps back on the log and he says, we await your return, and turns around and disappears into the forest, leaving your small group alone in the clearing. You hear rustling in the trees and the bushes, and you know that all the other animals, probably cats and others who have been watching this, start to scatter.
Can I notice at what time of day it is?
It's
Like, is
it's
it
later
early or
morning. It's later
later? Oh,
morning. Yeah.
hmm. Uh, well, squirrels are most active now. Oh, I so wanted to go take a nap. All right, all right. And he's kind of like sitting down in front of the walnut, and he's just kind of like massaging his temples, trying to like when your head just hurts so bad, you're just like, okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can let this moment pass, so you can build enough energy to get going.
Kirsch, can you roll your instinct?
Okay. Well, I got a 99, so
She's very confused. It's morning. This isn't your usual morning. What happens in the morning? You're so tired.
All right.
Do we have time to
Um,
sleep?
can anyone else think straight for a little bit? I'm a little out of it. Snuffles, Princess Snowball, do you guys have any idea where we should start looking for the Queen of the Squirrels?
A
Man, I
tree.
think I heard Princess Snowball. What did you say, man?
I
Huh?
said I think we should sleep,
do we
Mm.
have to
but
do it
also
right
too.
now?
Is Lord Sassafras still around, or any? Is there anyone that's still around?
Not that you're aware of. You can roll to see if anyone is around.
I would like to roll and see, but also to be like, "Hey, when does this have to be done by?" And I kind of yell it out loud to see if
Okay.
anyone responds as well. So, what do you want me to roll?
Inst. Oh, you can make the choice. Instinct or senses, depending on how you're trying to assess whether or not there are others around.
Technically, my instinct is higher, but I truly do think that he'd just be kind of like looking
Okay.
and listening, so and not really trying to like feel if there's anyone around. So
Also,
it's
as a point of, I know the word, whatever. But you all did just eat some tuna. So if you would like to add to your stats before you roll, you can do
Oh, we
that
should.
if you haven't done
cool.
it
Where's my
already.
pencil?
I added it to my paw. I needed
Oh,
some paw. Seeing how fortunately we have Princess Snowball as our purr expert, I was going to be like probably leaving most of that to her. So, but I rolled for my senses. I have a 62 and I rolled a 45.
you yell this out to the universe. You're very frustrated right now, and so you just sort of let that out. And you turn and you see Jacques over by the tree, and he's just kind of looking at you. And there's a wide eyedness of like, oh, that was really loud, but also a wide eyedness mixed with like kind of excitement.
So I turn and immediately, as soon as I find Jacques, I do like a snap kind of look towards him, and I'm like, "You, um, is he fluffy?"
He, um, he is small, but he maybe is not a kitten. He may
But
be
he
just a very
looks.
small cat, so he's not super fluffy like a kitten. But he's not a long-haired cat. No.
Oh, okay. Um, uh, uh, uh you, uh, when when do we need to come back by?
Oh, when you're finished.
Okay, let's go take a nap.
And he
Oh,
kind of looks around like, oh, Oh, I hope that was the
I'll
right
tell
answer.
Lord Sassafras you said that. And then I start walking away.
Poor Jacques. Uh, he just kind of nods and good luck, sir. And he stumbles off into the trees, hoping he still has a job later. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I slept too, but it wasn't the bestest. And dude, I mean, we're friends, so take this the right way. You look really rough.
I feel really rough. I had a
Where do you
feeling.
where do you want to go?
I want to go to bed.
Kirsch, I second that opinion. Let us. Oh God, I hope we're welcomed at your place, Kirsch. Um, Kirsch, I do you mind if we come and crash at your place again?
I
Please say yes.
think it
Please say
should be
yes.
fine.
Oh, thank
I
God.
hope my humans are
Uh,
okay.
okay.
I was missing
Um,
all night, and I don't know how they're gonna react.
it's
Well,
okay.
I don't
Um,
think they'll be mad at you
I'm gonna
because
make sure I
you're
grab the
lost.
walnut and I'm very careful with it.
Okay.
Um, all right, guys. I say Kirsch's place, quick nap, and then we're definitely good. Then we'll find the squirrels. Then we'll find the squirrels. And you're starting to see that now that the prospect of sleep is coming close. You could see that his body's going, oh, that means now. His I'm kind of guessing that Jitters' body is starting to shut down, even though he's still moving forward.
Kirsch, do you lead the way to your home?
Yeah, it's not a great job, and there's a lot of like teetering still, but it
Oh.
happens.
Uneventfully, you all make your way back to the Ruban Rouge. You turn the corner into the alley and you see the shorter baker in not her work clothes. And she's kind of wearing a jacket and she's pacing back and forth in the alley a little bit and she's got a pair of those terrible foam flip-flops on. Um she turns and sees you coming up the street, and her relief and excitement is evident.
I kind of try to run towards her, and then I kind of just stumble. It's not great.
Oh, how does everyone else's entrance into the alley look?
Pretty rough. Um, I think it's if how close up do we get to Kirsch's humans?
I would say pretty close. If you turn, let's see, if you come around the alley, um, the Ruban Rouge is in the middle of the alley. So I would say she meets you halfway. So you're, 2/4 of the way down.
Kind of like between the ice cream place and the
Almost
whatever the
right in front of, right behind the ice cream place, yeah.
okay. So as soon as we kind of get there, I kind of just like ploof, ploof, just kind of flop on the ground,
Oh. Um,
still holding the walnut very gingerly.
oh. Um,
Yeah,
Dirt
Princess.
Cat, who is also sort of worse for wear, kind of makes it up to Snuffles and also sits heavily. Princess Snowball, how you look?
Not good. She's kind of cleaned up like some of the dirt, but there's still more mud than she's aware of. She's kind of gotten like the sticks and leaves out of her fur that were stuck in there, but she still doesn't look very good. She's dragging herself along though. She's tired, but she can at least wait to get to like a nice, comfortable spot to sleep.
The short baker scoops up Kirsch and puts her in the nape of her neck and starts to nuzzle her and say her name, Kirsch, something, 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 in human, Kirsch, Kirsch. Um,
I press my face
Kirsch,
against
where
her
do you go?
face, and I just
Aw.
nuzzle her.
She's so happy to see you. You can tell that she's trying to fight back tears just a little bit. She turns and kind of shouts the name of the tall baker. You recognize this name because you've heard them call each other that before. It's time to name them. What is the name of the tall baker?
Uh, uh Adrian.
Adrian. Oh, I know I didn't spell that right. Uh, the short baker calls out, Adrienne, Adrienne. And you see the back door open, and the taller baker, she comes out of the back, and she turns and she sees all of these cats in the alley, and then finally spots Kirsch in the neck of the shorter baker, whose name is
uh, trying to think of another French name that's not. um,
So
mm,
the two bakers are looking at each other. The two ladies are excited to see their cat back.
Brigitte.
Brigitte. Um, Adrian says, Brigitte, Kirsch, and she grabs you and is just murmuring you all over the face.
I'm like sleepily mewing at both of them.
Roll your purr.
Princess Snowball is just looking like
10?
low-key jealous that no one's giving her attention.
So Princess Snowball is a little sad that she's not getting tons of attention. Kirsch has rolled a 10. They are so happy to see you that whatever weird adventure that you ran off on, the fact that you didn't come home last night is forgiven.
Yay.
Uh, oh, I did that backwards. The tall baker, Brigitte, carries you to the Ruban Rouge, and Adrienne looks at the ground and she sees the rest of you kind of stumble up to her. And who looks the worst for wear? Probably Dirt Cat looks the worst. She
Mm,
scoops up Dirt Cat. Next to that, probably Jitters is looking a little rough. She scoops up Jitters and she turns to Snowball, and she says, for you to follow, and they head over to the back door of the bakery.
So I follow, looking slightly happier.
Jitters, do you resist? This is a human who's now picked you up. That might be a little new for you.
it is, but it's still some. It's new for me, but it's still kind of welcomed
You're
because
probably
at this
so
point I am
tired.
so
Yeah.
tired I don't care. But my body still kind of goes a little. This is not natural for me to get this high. Like it's the loss of when you're on the ground you feel
Mhm.
that control, but even
Yes.
though you're like, yes, I need to be picked up, I need to be taken inside, it's still a very weird feeling to be picked up and carried somewhere by something that is 20 times your size.
I'm going to have Dirt Cat's going to do this as well because I don't know if he's ever been touched by a human being. We're going to fight our instincts. So roll your instinct.
So boy.
Okay, so
Wait, all of us or just him?
my instinct is 70 and I rolled a 54.
Dirt Cat also does well. Dirt Cat did so well that he literally just goes limp. Gives in completely. You're able to fight your instinct. There is that little panic of I am way up high and not of my own free will. But this human is showing you kindness and it feels pretty good. It's a new sensation and you don't mind it. She takes you
Yay.
into the back mudroom of the Ruban Rouge. You see that the Brigitte has already taken Kirsch up the stairs. Adrian follows up the stairs. They go back down into. Oh, you know what? No, They go all the way upstairs and they stay in their quarters. So for Dirt Cat, Snuffles, Jitters, and Princess Snowball, this is your first time in the apartments. No, who was in the apartments? Princess Snowball has been in the apartment, correct?
I think,
No, I don't
yeah.
think.
I think
I,
You
all
I
of
came
don't
them
like up
have
there and
remember.
been
like tried to make yourself at
either
home.
the mudroom or near the actual cafe itself, but not ever in the actual living quarters.
Yeah, because I have no idea what those living quarters look like because, yeah, you'd never described them.
Yeah, I want to say at some point Princess Snowball did make it up there and tried to make herself at home, and they were like, "Yeah, no." Um,
Oh,
I have a vague memory of that.
oh
They
yeah,
take
that was like
you,
on the very first time.
yeah.
And but yet she did not. She went up there, but I think they locked. Like they were very much no. You don't get to stay up here. So and that's pretty much all she probably saw.
They lead you down the long hallway. So the apartments run the length of the bakery. They take you down a long hallway. She turns to the left, and there's a modest kitchen. There's in this modest kitchen, however, it is a cook's kitchen. There's a large sink, and um, Brigitte starts to fill the sink with water, warm, soapy water.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
Princess Snowball, you're kind of familiar with this process. You know what's about to happen. Kirsch, you've been bathed in this sink before. You know what's about to happen. Um, Dirt Cat is not sure about anything right now. Um, uh, Snuffles is watching Jitters and Kirsch very like just darting eyes back and forth, seeing what you guys do. Um, Jitters, what do you do?
um, I think my natural instinct would be to kind of do your stereotypical, don't put me in the water. But I am so tired, so beat up, and a part of me is kind of like I can. And do I notice that the water's warm?
She takes a little bit of the water from the sink and holds it up to you and kind of rubs it on your paw. And yes, it's sort of room temperature, maybe a little warmer than that.
I think at first I kind of like want to pull away, but once she kind of like massages the paw or is like putting the water, I'm like, okay, fine, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to go limp, kind of a thing, to kind of just be like, okay, I'll let this happen. I'll
You're
let
making
this
a
happen.
concerted effort to give in.
Yes.
Roll your instinct. Darkhead's
Okay.
like almost unconscious, so he'll be fine. But Snuffles will. Okay,
Okay.
good.
I have a 70 and I rolled a 52.
As the warm water seeps in between your claws and goes down into the pads of your paws, it's very soothing and very relaxing, and you give in to the process. Kirish, you ready for a bath?
I'm gonna try to hold on to my person, but I don't think they're gonna let me stay
Mm.
on.
She holds you a little extra, seeing that you're clinging on, but yeah, you're gonna get a bath. Um, so she does the same. She starts to rub the warm water on your paws. Snuffles, seeing Jitters give in and seeing Kirsch being okay with it, he also allows himself to be bathed. Princess Snowball.
I have very mixed feelings about this because
Oh, I got to admit that took me by surprise. I was like, wait, what?
I mean, I don't think any cat really loves a bath, but also Princess Snowball does love to be pampered. This probably isn't her favorite form of a spa day, but she can also accept that she needs it.
I feel like it's literally the kind
So,
of thing that's just a flip of a coin. Where it's like half the time
yeah,
she's okay with it and half the time she's not, and you just
exactly.
get to
And so
find out.
maybe she's a little grumpy about having to do it after having not slept, Like, she would
Mm.
rather be well rested for this experience, but it needs to be done, so she'll begrudgingly allow it to happen and try to enjoy it.
They take washcloths and gently, you know, wipe the dirt off of all of you guys. The short baker, Adrienne, she spends a little extra time on Dirt Cat. She's noticing that he actually has some injuries, and um, you can tell that she's kind of concerned about it, actually. They finish cleaning you guys up without knowing where it came from because everyone's a little bit delirious and tired. Some bowls of cream arrive, and a couple of little bowls of food arrive, and the door to the family room or the parlor area is open, and they open it to you, and there's a couch and some chairs, and they cover those with towels and kind of let you guys go in there as you will.
I immediately get on a towel and try to go like curl up to go to sleep.
Yeah, I
Same
have no
here. I'm
problem.
finding the closest place to lay down and just be like, okay, it's sleepy time.
I want to curl up right on the back of that couch.
Right back where you try to get on there, you jump up onto the top ledge of that couch, you curl yourself up and hunker down as if, yeah, that's where I was supposed to be.
Mm.
Time passes, they allow you to sleep. They've opened the window, and eventually the shadows from the window get longer and longer, and it comes to where the sun is just about to dip behind the houses behind them. And you start to wake up.
Huh? Uh, I'm one of the things I want to check is, do I know where the walnut is?
Oh,
Oh, good
yeah.
question.
Did they take it from you when you were getting a bath?
Oh, let's see
Oh,
what happens. You wake up and that's your first thought, like, oh my gosh, where's the walnut?
exactly.
The last thing you remember is is her taking you over by the sink and wiping down your paw with some water and a warm washcloth, and the last place you remember seeing it was on the sink.
I'm gonna try to go up there and try to get it.
Back
I'm
to the
like, the
bathroom?
walnut.
Back to the
Kitchen,
kitchen.
sorry.
They washed you in the kitchen sink. Yeah, there's too many of you to try and throw a bunch
That's
of
fair.
dirty, exhausted cats in the bathtub. um, Jitters, you run into the kitchen and you can see it on the counter. It's just kind of
I'm
sitting there on a little towel, like on a tea towel.
I'm gonna hop on over there and try to grab it.
It's a little too tall to hop over by yourself.
Um, is there any way that I can go from one thing to another, like jump on top of one thing that will help me jump onto another thing that'll help me jump up there?
Roll your senses.
Okay, sense is a go. Sense is a fail. I have a 62. I wrote a 72.
You don't see anything in that room. There's like a step stool, maybe, but it looks kind of heavy for one cat to move. It's on the other side of the room.
Hmm. Is there anyone who's close by that I can ask for? Is Snuffles up
Everybody
in?
was in that parlor room, and they're all waking up.
Okay, so can I go run back into the parlor room real quick and be like, Snuffles, I need your help.
Dude, yeah, I'm here. What's up? What's up? What's up?
The walnut.
The walnut.
So, and then I kind of look at, kind of like do. So that was towards Snuffles. The walnut. I kind of address to
Why are
everyone.
you making so much noise?
The walnut, and I run back into the kitchen.
Snuffles follows you. Dirt Cat realizes there's not much he can do to help right now, so he's going to stay up on the cushion that he's on. Princess Snowball?
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Barely.
That's so weird. I'm sorry. I just saw that. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last like 15-20 seconds cuz I had just seen that y'all couldn't hear me.
Um, Jitters and Snuffles are yelling, Walnut! And running into the kitchen.
Yes, sorry. Okay. So Princess Snowball like stretches out from her spot on the couch and just kind of lazily like walks and jumps off. And like kind of walks in to where they're like freaking out and just goes, "Okay, so we need to find some squirrels, right?"
Yeah, but first we have to get the walnut back.
Right, the walnut. Okay, so okay.
So as I'm gonna run back into the kitchen with Snuffles.
Snuffles follows. Walnut! Walnut! Walnut!
It's up there. It's up there.
Oh, he spies it and just. Oh.
I know.
Dude, I totally forgot, man. I was just. And he looks over at you and he's. You know what he's talking about. It's the whole like humans being nice to you thing. It's like, I just kind of. I mean, you know.
Where
I know.
Wasn't
Just like
exactly is
thinking.
it?
no.
Where
I was
exactly
the
was
one who took the walnut. Huh? What,
Where
princess?
exactly is the walnut?
Up there. And I point
Oh,
to where I gesture towards the walnut.
that didn't answer my question though.
Well, dude,
It
what
was
was the
like on the
question?
it was where was it? It was like I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like picture where the walnut is. Where was the walnut?
The walnut is up on the sink of the counter, sitting on top of a little tea towel.
Oh, can I try to jump up there?
So it's too tall to jump up. There is a step stool in the room, but it's on the other side of the room.
Mm. You're telling me
Hmm.
I'm a cat. You're telling me there's no way I can get up here?
There's no purchase um, on the front of it, and it goes wall to wall.
Hmm.
What would happen if all of us start staring at it and meowing really loud? Do you, I know meowing and staring at things. I've heard it works well with humans. Kirs, does it work well with your humans?
I kind of shrug like a cat
Kirs?
can shrug, and I'm like, well, sometimes they're busy. Is the tea towel hanging over the edge?
Let's find out.
Mm.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Can I try to jump up to grab the tea towel?
Sure.
Like, if I can just try
Um,
to almost like claw at it.
Quick question: are you doing this? Are you just doing this? Or are you telling us that you're going to do this?
I would like to attempt to.
Okay, so yeah, no.
are
Well,
you
because if
working
you
it
were
out loud, or is this something that you're thinking inside your
This is
head?
what I'm thinking in my head. Sorry.
okay,
Do I need to
because I was
roll
like, if you're gonna,
anything? Does it just happen?
Yes. So you will roll pounce
Okay.
first to jump up, and then pause to see if you can catch it with your paw.
So pounce. Sorry, my dice fell out of the dice box. Okay, so that is a 25 out of 75 for my pounce.
Ooh, a nap did you good.
And then you said the second one was pause, right?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Well, that didn't go so well. I got a 63 and my pounce is 50. Or pause is 50.
Your jump up to the edge of the counter, you've probably done this before. It is perfectly calculated. It is a thing of beauty. You go to swipe for the tea towel and you miss by a mile. But your landing is gorgeous.
Oh.
And as soon as she kind of jumps up there and I see what she's doing, I'm like, wait, no, we don't want to hurt. We don't want to break the walnut. It has to be a perfect walnut to give to the queen.
Yeah, but I can't reach.
Okay. Okay. Where can I kind of listen and sense where or have the like this the instincts on where the human Kirsch's humans are?
Roll your instinct or
Okey-doke.
senses, depending again on how you want to determine that.
I would like to use my instincts.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter
Oh.
because I have a 70,
Still sleepy.
70 and a 91.
Yeah,
That is
you're
almost like
still
an
sleepy.
epic
I
fail.
think you just need a new set of dice at this point.
Right.
I've been switching them. I have
Oh,
I have
no.
4 sets of dice, and the first ones that I used just it gave me that 95, and I'm like, okay, you're done. Your first roll of the day, and you're done.
Maybe you need a jitter-specific orange set of dice.
Mm.
Oh, I need to get those. That sounds good. I'm gonna do that. So, okay, so I don't sense the humans around.
No, you're really focused on that tea towel and not breaking the walnut. So your senses, your spidey senses or kitty senses about whether or not something is nearby is they're not going off.
Okay.
Snuffles walks up to the counter and he cats kind of walk up something to stand. He doesn't quite make it to the top of the ledge, and he says, I could if I stood here, could you
Give you a boost?
I could give you a boost, man. You could give me a boost, or I don't know. Kirsch was pretty acrobatic there. That was a. He kind of looks over that. That was a nice landing.
Thank you.
Uh,
Jitters, you want to try
Well-
first?
I can be the base if you guys want to.
Well, actually, I think Kirsch might be able to get higher if both you and I help her as the base, and she can like jump off us a little bit better. What do you think, Kirsch?
I hope so. It's worth a shot.
All right, go team, go. Okay, so I'm gonna start like wherever is like the best location for us to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be right underneath where the tea towel is.
Yes.
And I just kind of like prop my back, and I guess I kind of like brace myself against Snuffles and have Snuffles brace himself against me and get in a brace-of position.
So the two of you, sort of side by side, have formed a little step for Kirsch. Kirsch, you want to give it a try?
Yeah. So the same rolls again?
Yes, please.
Oh no, I got a 99 again. It's my second 99 today.
Oh.
Oh, wow. You go to leap, and as you prepare to leap, you're not thinking about it. Your back claws come out just a little bit, and you accidentally give both Jitters and Snuffles a poke in the back, and they And as they move, you fall and tumble to the ground.
Sorry. I'm not used to this whole thing. The
It's okay.
the acrobatics
It's okay.
and stuff.
All
Do-
right.
Princess Snowball, are you just watching the show?
Yeah, I'm kind of watching them like make fools of themselves, but if they need someone else to try, I'm willing to step in.
Dude, you give it a try?
Sure. Roll pounce, is that right?
Pounce and then pause.
Okay, well, this isn't gonna go well, but I'll give it a try. Oh, okay. I got a 43 and I have a pounce of 50.
Okay. And pause.
And never mind.
It's always that second one.
It's the second one. Your jump is pretty elegant, but you are missing a claw and you forget about it, that you've hurt your nail, and you go to swipe at it and you realize, just at the last second, that there's nothing to grab onto it with.
Well, do you guys want to try the human? Let's Operation Manipulate Human.
I can try. And I want to start wailing.
Okay.
So, well, I'm gonna say like I'm gonna have like all of us there. Kind of. I'm like, all right, everyone, stare at the walnut and meow. So everyone. So it'd be all four of us doing it.
Okay.
Trying to make
Uh,
this a very weird. I mean, if any human walked in on like, what is that? 4 cats? No, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Dirt Cat's still passed
yeah, he's
out,
in the
right?
parlor. Yeah.
The four of us just staring at something and meowing at it and like pawing at it.
I think it could
It's
work. I'm ready.
it's quite a scene. Everyone roll your purr. All right.
Never mind.
Oh my god.
Well, I got a 4, which is pretty great.
Nice.
4 out of 40.
I got a
Snubble's got a
94.
28. I'm sorry, Princess Snowball?
I got a 95.
Wow.
So even my high purr score is not gonna fix that.
Well,
And Jitter.
it's I have a 30 for my purr.
Mhm.
I wrote an 85.
Wow.
So 2 passes and a fail. No, 2 passes and 2 fails.
2 passes and 2 fails. You and Princess Snowball are standing next to each other, and you try to do your best enticing cat song, but her tone is putting you off a little bit, and his tone is putting Princess Snowball off a little bit, and they can't quite find the right pitch together. But Kirsch and Snuffles actually are making kind of a lovely cat song together.
Aw.
Their purrs and meows are in lovely harmony. In a few minutes, you hear walking up the stairs and you hear walking down the hallway. And let's see which one it is. It is the shorter baker, Adrienne. Um, she walks down the hall, turns the corner, and into the kitchen where you guys are mewing your little hearts out. And she sees you and she sees that you're staring at the walnut. Kirsch, this is your human. Do you want to take an extra purr at
Sure.
her?
32 out of 40.
She looks at the walnut and she looks at you and she can tell that you want it. And she does that thing where she picks it up off the counter and kind of holds it up like this. This is what you want?
I want to, like, not extend my claws, but kind of just, like, paw at it.
She looks at the walnut. She's trying to decide if it's okay to give you. And anybody helping?
Um
Can I just like kind of meow at it sharply as she's like looking at this? Can I try to like roll my purr again?
Sure.
I got a 7. Give me the
Now
walnut.
being in the presence of an actual human, you feel it all coming back to you now. It comes flooding back.
Mhm.
And you start purring and you come up to Kirsch and Princess Snowball describe this irresistible purring session.
Mm. I want to
How are you charming
say
this human?
I want to say that Kirsch is standing up on her back legs and trying to paw for it and like mewing like really kitten like.
And Princess Snowball?
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm still like, we're still meowing at this. I'm sorry. It's so late. I keep losing focus for like the wrong 30 seconds at a time. I'm so sorry, and
Hope you're okay.
That's okay. You are
I'm so
mewing at
sorry.
the feet of
Okay.
a baker that you are charming the socks off of.
Yes. So I like wrap my fluffy little tail around her, but I am like laser focused on the walnut, and if like I'm hoping like my tail will get her attention, and if she like looks at me, I want to kind of like then flick my tail right towards the walnut too. So I'm like pointing at it.
Confused why this is the object of everyone's affection, she puts it on the floor and sees what you guys do with it. She's watching you for a second because she still wants to make sure it's safe for
I
Kirsch.
want to try to eat it, or at least just like
Oh,
lick
As
it.
no.
That's not
honestly,
going to make her think
as
it's
soon
safe.
as she puts the walnut on the ground, I'm gonna go after it immediately. I'm gonna be like yoink
I want to taste
as fast as I can.
it.
So Jitters and Kirsch. Jitters, roll your pounce against Kirsch's senses because she's trying to lick it.
Okay, I have a 60 in pounce, and I rolled a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what stat was it again?
You're trying to lick it, so
Mhm.
senses.
Okay. Well, that was an 81. 81 and my senses are 60. So,
So as Kirsch leans in and her tongue starts to stick out just a little bit, Jitters comes in out of nowhere and like a cat playing with a catnip mouse jumps on the walnut. The walnut, I don't know, I can roll for a walnut. The walnut goes skittering across the floor, but almost like in a cat toy kind of way. So if you continue to pounce for it,
Yes, I'm going to. My goal is to grab that walnut and make sure that it is secure in my possession once again.
she thinks you guys are playing with it. She thinks it's adorable. She kind of laughs and she pats Kirsch on the head and goes back downstairs. She has left the door open
Oh,
from the hallway into either side, either into the bakery side or to the mudroom. The doorways are both open.
Should we head out?
do we have to?
have I caught the walnut?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I actually get the walnut,
Oh,
or
yeah,
am I
you got
still
it.
trying to?
You got it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. She assumed you were playing with it and thought it was funny and kind of left you to yourself. So, yeah, eventually it stops skittering and you catch it.
Okay, cool. Whew.
The doors are open, both sides.
All right, guys.
Let's
Do we
go.
have to?
Well, I mean, if we want to finish the trials, I guess. I mean, Kirsch, we're outdoor cats. I mean, if you want to come with, we would love to have you. But, and I kind of get like a look around of everything, and I kind of like gesture towards where her humans went. I mean, you've got a pretty good life here.
I kind of flatten my ears. And I say, I just. Last night was really scary. And I still want to go on adventures, but I just want to make sure I get back.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the life of adventures, you know? You it's always live to tell another day. To live another day to tell a tale. No, something it's about being able it's a rough life, but you'll have tales to tell. No,
You'll have tails on your tail. You'll
it
you'll tell to you're a telltale. No, you're I get you, man. Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
It's
I
you know,
understand.
it's a life. Well, tell you what, I I consider you a good friend, Kirsch, and I am so happy that we have met you. And if you guys want to go find some squirrels, come on, let's go. But I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want to, you know? So, tell you what, if you do come with us, we'll make sure that it's going to be a very easy journey. All we're going to do is go talk to some squirrels, go to Lord Sassafras, come home.
Frankly, this is
And
probably one of the safer things we've done at this point.
That's true.
yeah, it is a lot safer than trying to walk across the street with cars trying to run us over.
Okay, I'll do I'll do it. But I want to make sure we're coming back. Okay?
Okay. Well, here. Um, I say try this. Find something around here. Something that you can pick up and carry and be like technically you would be borrowing this from your humans, but you're gonna bring it back. So anytime that you think things are getting rough, you always have that thing that thing with you that you'll be like, you know what? No, I still have to bring this back. And it works for me a lot of times.
Oh, okay. I want to look around the kitchen and see what I could carry with me. That doesn't seem too obtrusive.
It is a chef's kitchen. It's pretty clean. Um where exactly are you looking? You also have
Is
technically the rest of the apartments too.
True. Um,
is there anything that she could possibly wear as like a hat? Like say if she had like a measuring cup and it's kind of like what is that Johnny Appleseed
oh my
kind of look,
gosh.
but it's like a measuring cup.
Okay. Um
Can I look for something like that? And then I can be
sure.
not only do you have to bring it back, but it also will provide protection. It's like a helmet.
Okay, roll your senses because you're looking, and Snuffle will also roll, and we'll take the better roll.
I got a
Oh,
34 and I have a 62 on senses.
he got a 9. So both of you are
Yes.
very, very into helping this young kitten come into her own and helping her out. There is by the sink a dish strainer.
Hmm.
There is also a dishwasher, and the dishwasher is open ever so slightly.
Oh. Hey, maybe there's something in here. And I kind of like paw it open.
Use your paw to paw.
Okay. Okay. I have a 50 and I rolled a 23.
You give it a good swipe, and it clink, clink, clink open. It is kind of a sound, and ooh, that's fun. The dishwasher has not been run. These are dirty dishes, but
Gross.
it's full of it
Do I
is full of
do I
dishes.
find a measuring cup. I'm not going to know that it's a measuring cup, but I'm looking for something that would kind of fit on her head. So
Okay, so
like
it's senses, and again, Snuffles will help you. Oh wow,
senses. Oh, okay. I have a 62 and I rolled a 57.
you got a 14. You guys are
Oh,
really into this mission, and you got
we're
some.
into the scavenger hunt. Let's
Yeah,
go, buddy.
this is something you guys are used to doing. You guys have had to scavenge and repurpose supplies all the time. You find in the dishwasher a set of plastic measuring cups. You also find a set of nicer metal measuring cups. And then there's a little plastic mug, and you also find some other uh, glasses and silverware and little plates and such.
I'm going to say that I'm going to go to the plastic measuring cups
Hmm.
and try to find one that's about the size of Kirsch's head and grab it.
Um, okay. So the plastic measuring cups are the measuring cups they use to measure liquids in, and the metal ones were the ones that they were using to measure dry goods. So you do find one that matches sort of the general size of Kirsch's head. It kind of sits jauntily off of one ear, but there is a little bit of liquid coming out of the cup.
Would it be water? Because if they're in the dishwasher, they probably would have rinsed them and then put them in there, or is it actually like some kind of other liquid?
You've made a case, so I'll give it a shot. It is mostly water. It's rinsed
Oh,
pretty good.
okay. Hey, I found this. I think this would be perfect. Fashionable, you don't have to use your mouth or your paws to carry it, and it also will provide your head with extra protection.
Oh, okay. I want to try to put it on.
Working together, Jitters and Snuffles kind of get it on your head. Jitters is Snuffles kind of has the handle of it in his mouth and is trying to place it up on her head. Snuffles, if you want to try and use your paws to kind of get it on there, you kind of get it stuck on the top of her head, and you both take a step back and take a look at your handiwork.
Haha, perfect. I like the fashion choice too, don't you, buddy? I mean, it looks so. I mean, it looks intense. I
So,
like it.
Dustin, I have to
Ooh.
ask, since you were the one, technically the one to find it, uh, did you find a measuring cup that, like, is bigger than my head, or does it just kind of sit on my head, if that makes sense?
I was trying to think of one that would actually like be the best size so it wouldn't accidentally fall off.
Mm.
I was trying to find one that would probably be able to rest on your head pretty well, and kind of like a I guess even more like maybe like a snug baseball cap almost.
Okay.
So that's what I was looking for. I don't know if I found that or not.
I honestly can't wait for the fan art on this.
Yes.
100%. I love it.
Now, this is also another thing that I was worrying about because if we put the hat on, do the ears stick up the side of the
Yeah, that's
measuring
kind of
cup,
why I was
or
concerned
are
if it
they?
was if it was
Is
bigger
it
than her head, or if it just sat on it.
or
So
yeah, or
I'll
like
say
the
that
ears are kind of
one ear is kind of squished in a little bit and holding it in place, and the other ear is exposed.
I like that. I think that's the way I'll go because then if it has that crooked style, like how
Hmm.
you like someone can have like their hat just tweaked a little bit to one side, kind of
Hmm.
thing. It kind of gives it that kind of look, and I'm liking it. I like that look. It looks tough. It looks intense. So you're walking down the street, and it kind of says don't mess with me, kind of a thing. I
Yeah, it's
have
very
I have
daunting.
armor on.
Mm. Dirt Cat at this point comes into the doorway and he looks at Kirsch and he's like, Okay. And turns and starts walking down the hallway where the two staircases divide. He's actually looking like he's walking a little less stiffly.
Oh, good. That means he probably got. Um, would I know that he got kind of what is that called? Patched up by the humans.
You don't see anything extra on his body, although you do notice that the blood that had crusted around his eye and his lip have been cleaned off. You see sort of a fresh little scab.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So we have the walnut. We're prepared. We're ready to return. And we're all set and ready to go. So, probably the best place to look for squirrels. I'm assuming the park?
Yeah,
I
that sounds
mean,
like a good idea.
anyone else have any better ideas? You know, parks kind of, place I can think of.
I like the park.
Sounds good to me. There's a lot of
All
trees
right.
there.
Princess Snowball, I'm
Onward.
sorry.
What?
I'm sorry, we missed what you said, Princess Snowball.
Oh, I just said I just agreed with the park. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm
It is
sorry.
pretty quiet, though.
I don't know what's going on with this mic. I apologize.
We'll fix it in post.
I'm so sorry.
But you all agree that trees is probably a good place to start looking for squirrels.
Very true. Oh, wait. Hold on a second, though. I know that squirrels also like hanging the around the restaurants around here because they try to get people's food. Maybe seeing how we're already here, I'm gonna try to like go out and look out the front window because usually when you have like the storefronts,
Mm-hmm.
you can you have the sidewalk and then you have like normally trees that are
Mm-hmm.
along the sidewalk. So I'm like, well, since we're here, I'm gonna like maybe quickly run on over and look out the front window and see if I can see any squirrels jumping around in the trees.
So you're still inside the Ruban Rouge, so you're going to run down the stairs and look out the window?
Yeah.
You run down the stairs, and you remember in the Ruban Rouge, there's sort of a set-in bench area in front of the window for patrons to sit, so you can hop up on that and look at the trees. There are trees planted in the parkway in front of the restaurant. There's some movement in the trees. You look on the ground. There isn't a whole lot of movement on the ground. You're looking, so roll your senses.
All right. I have a census of 62 and I rolled a 12.
You do see a couple of squirrels running back and forth between the trees.
Ah, cool. Excellent. All right. Are there any oh wait. I think I just noticed something. Did I get bathed? I
You
got
did.
cleaned and washed. I
Yes.
happened to I think by looking at the squirrels and then seeing my reflection in the window, I
Mm.
realize that I'm actually clean and I'm a little fluffy.
Oh.
And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm fluffy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I haven't I haven't looked this way for so long. This feels so I feel more majestic. I feel and am I on the ledge of
Yeah,
the
you're on the
window?
little lip that kind of serves as a bench seat by the window, yeah.
Okay. And I'm just gonna like stand up a little bit prouder and kind of look a little bit more like how I think Lord Sassafras would look, kind of a
Oh.
thing.
Hmm.
So like a dun dun dun, dun.
You
And I
do
just
that, and a squirrel that was making its way to the other tree turns its head just for a second to see you do it, cocks his head quickly, and then runs.
do I notice him notice me?
Yeah.
Ah, excellent. We have been noticed. Let's come on. Let's go get the squirrels. Is the front door open?
The front door isn't open, but you do know that if you go back up the stairs and across the landing, the door that goes down the stairs into the mudroom was open.
Okay, and then I know I know the area to go like around and out in front.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to start heading that way, beelining, and as I'm like running past everyone, I'm just going to say, "Squirrels out front! Squirrels out front!" And I'm going to just go straight to the alleyway and then go around to the front of the store.
Dirt Cat will follow. Of course, Snuffles is like, squirrel, squirrel, and runs with you. Kirsch and Princess Snowball.
Yeah, I follow.
And Princess.
I'm sorry, I follow too. Can you hear me?
You follow out the pet door, which is open, around the outside past the Restaurante Salsicha. And let's see, we'll say there's 1, 2, 3, 4 trees in the parkway, and they're lined up in between the businesses. Actually, let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one on each end. So there's 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 6 across. And now you're out on the street. So if you guys look at your map, this is a sidewalk, and then there'll be a parkway right opposite it, and then across the street is that's a really really busy street. There are cars, vroom vroom, going really fast back and forth up and down that street, and you know that across from there, Jitters and Snuffles, you know that there's a big shopping center.
Okay, across the street.
Yes, across a very busy street. So these 6 trees, are in the parkway right before the very busy street.
Okay, so they are like these are like the trees that is kind of like the border for us. We know once we go past these trees, that's where it's very, 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 very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I stay on the sidewalk side of the trees,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to start. Oh, before I start like looking around, I still have the walnut in my mouth. I'm assuming. Would there be any way that I could kind of like take the walnut and like tuck it underneath Kirsch's hat and have her kind of like carry the walnut underneath her hat?
You can certainly try.
So
Um,
as Kirsch comes up, because I like as I'm walking and I have the walnut in my mouth, I do the and I'm trying to like talk while I have the walnut in my mouth. And as soon as like Kirsch comes close up to me, I grab the walnut and like I try to shove it underneath there and put her hat back on.
What's that about?
Yeah. Oh wait, here, just I think we can use this to hold the walnut safer than having it in my in my slobbery mouth.
Okay.
Does it work?
I mean, I think some of your slobber's in my hat now, but it's fine.
You can feel, Kirsch, that there's probably a little bit of slobber.
I'm just kind of grimacing.
Oh, I love it.
So you have 6 trees in front of you on the parkway, and you see some movement up in the leaves.
I want to walk up towards the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Before I look up at the tree, I want to look. Are there any like bushes nearby?
They're not. This is sort of a main street, and anything that's green that's on this street has been planted purposefully. So it's right now just in front of you. It's just the 6 small parkway trees.
Okay. I want to look up and see if I can spot any squirrels up there.
Senses.
Mm-hmm. I do not spot any squirrels up there.
As you approach, the movement suddenly stops.
I want to just call out, "Hello, I know you're there. Care to talk?"
Who's there?
My name is Princess Snowball, and I'm representative of Lord Sassafras, and we are here trying to figure out about trying to come to the bottom of some horrific events that are affecting this community.
Oh, yes. Strangers. Strangers in our city.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, yes, we seek counsel with your queen, and we are hoping that you might have some information about a mutual threat that has come to our town, a new coyote.
You are standing in front of one of the trees and you hear very lightly, the queen. And then you hear a jump and you hear in the next tree, the queen, the queen, the queen, the queen, the queen. And you hear that phrase repeated over and over again, back and forth between the trees.
Ah,
There's a lot of excitement.
Can you go get her?
Everything stops.
or you can tell us where to go get her. I mean, we
Take
can
them to
go
the queen.
there.
Take them to the queen. Take them to the queen. And you hear this repeated, almost like a game of telephone through the tops of the trees, and a squirrel comes running down in a spiral pattern down the trunk of a tree and stands in front of you, and his tail whips, and he runs.
I guess we're following him, or
Okay.
that person, that one. And I go after following the squirrel.
So the squirrel runs down to in front of the shoe store
Mm-hmm.
and runs across the street.
I halt brakes, full on brakes. When he goes towards that way, I'm like or at least I look. Does it look super busy?
It is. The sun has gone down. People are going home. There are some cars on the street, yes.
How well does he fare?
Oh, he makes it across lickety split. He's like a little bolt of lightning, and he gets to the other side, and he's sitting, and his tail is just flicking. His eyes are unblinking, and his tail's just flicking at you.
Oh, come on. Ugh.
He does go from corner to corner.
Corner. Oh, I look over. Wait, corner to corner of what?
He crosses the street at a corner
Uh huh.
to another corner across the street.
Oh, where the street meets another street, or just a.
Yeah, so if I'm crossing the street at a corner, if I stop at the corner and I cross to the next corner to cross the street,
Mhm.
that is what he has done.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be like,
Everyone
I'm
roll your
gonna.
senses. Let's see what I can do to help.
Ooh.
I got a 4.
Oh, I got a 16
Why
for
do I keep getting
Snuffles
90s?
and a 41.
Well,
I have a 62 and I got an 89.
Oh,
I
dude.
got a 93.
Princess Snowball?
I got a 4.
Oh, Princess Snowball, you are used to urban environments.
Absolutely, I am.
Absolutely. You have been carried in a little purse and have had lots of opportunities to sit comfortably and observe the human's behavior. And you look and you see on this corner, there is what looks like a metal tree and what
Hmm.
looks like a tiny little sun at the end of the metal tree. And sometimes it's green and sometimes it's red.
Mm.
And you have been shopping in the most expensive shopping districts with your human, and you've walked the streets with lots of bags going back and forth, and you know that the cars will stop when the little sun on your side is green and the little sun on the car side is red.
Cool. So I kind of explained this to them, and we can wait for the green light.
Huh?
I explain, like, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I explain all of that to them. So we're trying to cross.
Ah, um, I'm still kind of like, just like, oh my gosh, he crossed the road. He crossed the road, and then yeah, it takes a little bit of um, Princess Snowball's, hey, we cross over there for me to like, huh? Oh, um, yeah. Is that a safer place to cross?
Yeah, so when the lights, like, I'm sorry, is it like the walk sign or like the
It's like a walk and don't walk,
okay,
or a
okay.
stoplight, a green light and red light.
Okay, yeah. So like when it's green, well, I'm trying to figure out if it's green we walk or if it's like green the cars are going and we shouldn't walk. I'm trying to figure out how to explain that.
When I look over in that
I'm
direction,
sorry.
do I
But
see
no.
humans crossing, the other humans that are actually crossing at this point?
It's a good question. You do. You see a woman carrying two bags that you know that humans like to carry food in these bags, and you see her crossing the street from the shopping center in your direction.
Oh, oh, excellent. Safe place to cross. Snowball, Princess Snowball, you're amazing. Okay. Whew.
Oh,
And I'm going to
I've
start
never heard
making
that
my
one
way
before
over to
from
the
him.
light.
I follow along. I'm
Yeah.
like trying not to get distracted at the food smell, but I'm following.
Yeah, it's going to be tough in the shopping center to ignore the food smell. It smells delightful. You get across, so you guys cross while there's humans crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So you do actually manage to cross the street, and as she's walking across the street, she sees just this line of cats using the crosswalk and make it to the other side. And she gets to the opposite side. She stops and she turns around and shakes her head like, I didn't see that, and continues to go to wherever her house is down the street. You've now made it across the street to the Riverwalk Shopping Center. This is our first time here, you guys.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. I have only heard stories of this place. They call it Food Valhalla.
Really?
Oh my gosh,
Food holla?
Food Valhalla. It's like places where everywhere you go there will be delicious smells, and there's going to be leftover food everywhere, and they even have these these big metal circle things that just has tons of food that is just left there.
Really?
I I I never thought I'd make it here.
Wait, you haven't
Everyone
been
roll
here
your
before?
senses. We're gonna need to roll our senses, and we're gonna see how well we can resist.
Oh no.
I rolled a 1. These dice like me tonight. Now that I've
Oh,
napped.
that was so
And
close
they
this time. I got a 66
Oh,
and my senses are 60. It's
Mm.
like just barely
I
there.
have a 62 and I got an 88.
Jitters, you are so excited about being there that you're just sort of overwhelmed. Kirsch, same thing. You have never crossed a street before. You've been able to look out the window and see this shopping center, but being this close to it, and there's so many smells, it's kind of hard to separate them and discern what is what. Um, Princess Snowball, you are able to distinctly and accurately smell what is coming out of every single building in this shopping center, the grocery store, as well as at the far end a little food court. You could tell everyone exactly what is on the menu of each one of those restaurants in the food court.
oh, I recognize. I love a good food court.
I want to eat the air.
Why not eat food?
Can we get food?
Maybe.
I'm
The
game for food.
squirrel is looking back and forth at you with his jerky little head movements. Like, what is this conversation? I don't understand.
Uh, okay, so the squirrel doesn't. You must have been here before. Isn't this like the greatest food area in all of existence?
Belongs to the queen. The queen. And he runs.
Wait,
This is
the queen lives here?
figures.
Wait, why does it
The
figure?
the, the
She lives
queen
here.
rules here.
She rules
Wait,
here.
why? Wait, how?
Well, okay, maybe. Okay, if I'm really torn because now I'm realizing that if we just go into the queen's kingdom and start eating food, she's probably not going to want to help us and she might be pissed. So I am debating now whether to just pretend that I did not hear that little piece of information or to be like, okay, fine, and just follow the squirrel in which direction he took off in.
He is headed in the direction of the food court. He is
Okay,
trying
well,
to lead you to her.
if that's the direction he wants us to go, then let's go. I'm
You
going to follow him.
follow the squirrel, and he dashes over to a food court area. It is one of those areas that has several deep set um, casual dining places in a row, and a fence around it, and outdoor seating. It probably wasn't built with the intention of having outdoor seating, but since these restaurants have been there, they've sort of installed their own ramshackle outdoor seating. There are bistro tables and chairs in this gated area. The slats between the iron bars and the gate are not that wide. You guys can slip right through if you want to.
Sounds good.
The food court itself is actually fairly empty. It's sort of after dinner time, before closing. Um, he runs to the side, and there are trees lining sort of around this fence, and you hear rustling in the trees. And you hear him pass on the message to see the queen, to see the queen. And you hear this game of telephone happen up in the trees.
I'm going to kind of like where he actually started sending the message up. I'm going to be like facing that way, sit down and like kind of sit on my haunches and just kind of like be very presentable. And then of
Mm.
course, then I kind of realize that I'm still fluffy and I start like trying to like make it look nice, like just kind of like groom myself a little bit to make myself be like, yeah, I'm fluffy. I can do this.
What,
What does everybody else
what are
do?
you doing?
Preparing myself for the queen's arrival.
Oh,
The queen should be, guys. Yeah, the queen squirrel should be coming. So just go ahead and like be presentable. Be presentable. Be like respectful. This is
I'm
her kingdom.
obviously naturally presentable, so I don't need to freak out over my appearance.
Mhm.
So I just like gently, sit down. I kind of like I fluff up my tail and like sit proper and pretty. So I'm putting in effort, but I'm not freaking out over it because I already know that I'm beautiful.
Kirsha's gonna keep trying to. She's gonna try to. What's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. She's going to try to readjust the measuring cup on her head multiple times,
Mm.
like trying to
Mhm.
shift it back and forth, and like trying to make it look presentable, even though she doesn't know what that looks like with the measuring cup on her head.
Mhm. On the tree in the corner, you see a fairly largish squirrel face pop out and say, Who comes to see the queen?"
Representatives from the cat council. And I do kind of like a makeshift bow, as much as a cat can bow.
Right. Cat Council? Not known to us. You're not known to us. And the face disappears.
Oh, we do. We bring a gift for Her Majesty from the Cat Council,
The
and
face
I go,
pops out. A gift?
yes, and I go over to Kirsch and I lift up her hat and pull out the walnut. A gift, and I like yeah, present it. Present the walnut.
The face pops back into the tree, and in a second, you see the same squirrel spiral down the tree and run up right to you. And at first, she kind of blinks back, and then her eyes narrow and she looks at you again, kind of like she's trying to get a good look at you. And she says, You, you are not Lord Sassafras.
No, but we have been sent by Lord Sassafras to see if you might have information on a mutual enemy that has recently come to our town.
She takes one run around you and then comes back up in front of you. She's really fast. She's large. Um, she's tallish also for a squirrel. Her tail is very fluffy. Um, she stands up on her hind legs and she's like, the gift, the gift, the gift, the gift.
Oh, yeah, I do present the walnuts as a gift.
She picks it up. She rolls it over her finger. She sniffs it. She takes a little nibble at it. She gives it a little crack with her hands. And she goes, and a bunch of other squirrels suddenly appear. She passes it off, and without even looking, she passes it off, and then they disappear. Uh, what was your question? You had questions?
Recently, there has been a new coyote that has arrived in town that has dubious motivations, so to speak. And we would like to know if anyone in your council may have information on where this coyote has come from and where it has been in the neighborhood. Where has it been? Where has the coyote been seen, in a sense?
Representatives of Lord Sassafras have lots of questions.
This is a very dangerous threat to both of our
And
kingdoms.
the walnut looks yummy.
She runs up the tree, and you hear coyote, 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 coyote. And almost the word coyote dissipates on the breeze through the trees. And you hear coming back through the breeze, coyote, coyote, mother coyote, coyote. And the queen of the squirrels comes back down the tree in a spiral and comes running up to you. And she says, Coyote, coyote, mother coyote. Many pups, mother coyote.
Yes, that is true. We have found that out ourselves as well. You see, this coyote seems to have a particular wish to attack others in this town. So we wanted to see if you might have been known where this mother coyote is, where her pups are, or who has she talked to? Has any of your people seen this coyote staying around anywhere?
So many questions, so very many questions from Lord Sassafras. Pick one, start a question, one question.
Oh, um, um, have you seen the coyote's den?
She runs up in a spiral up the tree, and you hear again as it dissipates as a whisper through the tops of all the trees, den, den, coyote, den, coyote, den. And in a few minutes, you hear it come back on the breeze through the leaves. She comes running down the tree in her now familiar spiral, and she says, "They're down by the river. Coyote den by the river.
Excellent.
Coyote and 3 pups."
3 pups.
Hmm.
Oh, that's good to know. Coyote, river. Did she wait a second, did she say like where down by the river? Like how far from? Does she like give me a sense on where by the river it is?
She only said down by the river. And so
Okay.
fast you almost missed it.
um, can I say? Can I say where down by the river?
She kind of sighs and runs up the tree, and you hear river, 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 river go out into the trees, and then it comes back, and she spirals down, and she says, under the bridge, the bridge where the cars go, the bridge, under the bridge.
Ah, excellent. Thank you so much for all of your help. Um, um, does it do you guys think do you guys have any other questions? I think I only have one more, but I want to see if you guys have any.
When did the coyote get here?
She spirals up and she says, one. And then it comes back on the wind. Um, how would they say this? The season, the season, the season, the season, the season. And she comes running back down and she says, we lost the first of ours at the beginning of the season to this coyote.
Oh, so she's been here for a while then, because
Sometimes, a few sons, a few sons.
oh, okay, so she's only been here for a few days.
But what would make her specifically leave her? What's the baby coyote word? No, what is?
Pups.
Oh, I don't remember the word for a young coyote.
Oh,
Like what would make her specifically come after us?
I don't know. Okay, so last question. Um, has any of your people seen the coyote spend a lot of time with anyone?
She runs up the tree and you hear allies, 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 allies. And it comes back on the wind. Rats, 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 rats. She comes running down. Beware, beware. Watch out, beware, for the gutter rats.
The rats.
Rats. Hmm. That is okay. That is interesting. I don't think coyotes make friends with rats very often. But what would coyotes have to do? Okay. Okay, can you guys think of any other questions, or are you good? Okay, so well, I'm gonna like do it in a very elaborate bow, and say thank you, Your Majesty, for your hospitality. As we leave your beautiful kingdom, would it be okay if we partake in your fine local cuisines?
She looks at you and she says, walnuts?
I mean, I wouldn't mind a walnut.
Oh, I was wondering, and like, and I kind of gesture to like where the food court, like where like the center of the food court would be,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of gesture. Would you mind if we would? I don't want to say hunt because that might intend because cats do eat squirrels. I want
She
I
hunkers down just a little bit.
because I don't want to say hunt, but I want to say if we are able to get some of the food from the trash cans. Or from, I guess it would be just cans because I wouldn't know that there were trash cans.
Leaving tribute. Leave tribute. Leave tribute. Cats can eat. Cats can eat if leave tribute.
We gave her the acorn, right? Or the walnut.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so we have to leave a tribute?
Yes, yes. New tribute. New tribute. Cats must pay.
Edible
Oh.
tribute?
Yes. Are there any others? Edible tributes, yes.
Ah. Bring you back something? So it's like we'll hunt, or we'll get some food, and then we'll bring you back some food.
Gather to the Queen of the Squirrels, yes.
Yes, we will gather some food for you and for us as well. Thank you, Your Majesty. We appreciate your kind and wonderful hospitality.
With a flick of her tail, she spirals up and disappears. You guys have the food court all to yourself. As
Yes.
she spirals up the tree and disappears, there's a couple that comes out with two styrofoam containers, and they witness just the very end of this very strange scene before they decide to walk over to the other side of the enclosed food court or street eating area and sit down.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're just kind of eyeing you. They open their containers and they're eating and they're having a conversation.
Okay, well, hearing that, I get super excited because I'm like, yes, Valhalla, here I come, food Valhalla, and I'm like now sniffing and looking for the nearest trash can, the one that would probably provide the best smelling food.
There is plenty to find here. Apparently, the humans in this area are not very good at picking up after themselves. There's actually some food on the table as well. If everyone wants to scavenge around, you can definitely find something.
I would like to do that.
What do you find?
I don't. Oh, do you want me to roll for it?
No, just tell me what you find. This place is
Oh,
lousy with food trash, so this is why the Queen of the Squirrels lives here.
oh, well then I'm gonna find some orange chicken and pad thai from the Panda Express that's down here. And someone, yes, I don't know if they're done with it and have left, or if they just like went to the bathroom. But yeah, find I find a container that has some orange chicken in it, and I go at it. Some orange chicken and some fried rice.
It's delicious. It's still even just a little
Yes.
bit warm. Princess Snowball, what do you find?
I find like some pizza crust. Just
Mm.
like, some kid like didn't like his crust and left like two pieces in there, and so I'm just gnawing on my little pizza crust.
How very Italian. Kirsch, what do you find?
I want to find some bright red sweet and sour pork.
Mm. You find it. It's delicious.
Yum.
Uh, Dirt Cat will also find some food. He's gonna pick at some rice that he finds, and Snuffles will also see if he can chew through some of this this little green tree looking thing. But it tastes like meat, but it's a little green tree, but it's delicious. And he works his way through some scraps of that. Satiated and ready to go. Where do you guys go?
Well, first I make sure that I collect a tribute for the
Mm-hmm.
queen,
Mm-hmm.
and I make sure I'm assuming that I had like that foam container.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put the tribute on there and kind of drag it back to the tree for the queen.
As the couple in the corner is finishing their combo meal, they're watching an orange cat drag a styrofoam container with a little bit of food on top of it underneath the large tree in the food court. Do you leave it
And
there?
I just yeah, I just leave it there, and I do kind of a bow, and I say once again, thank you for your hospitality, and I leave.
You turn, you hear what sounds like the wind, and you turn back around, and yeah, the food's gone. The food is gone. So, you guys, would you like to do?
Mm.
Well, about what time of day is it?
It's getting to be nighttime now.
Do we need to tell Lord Sassafras right away?
We probably should.
Well, yeah, I think we should. This is some very important information that we have to tell him.
Okay.
So I'm going to start like, all right, I'm going to kind of stretch because I have an exceptionally full belly. And I've not had that good of a meal in quite a while. So I'm just going to start like strolling my way over to the crosswalk
Mm-hmm.
and prepare to cross the street.
The light changes. You see another human begin to cross. In this case, it's a youngish-looking male human with a backpack, and he's crossing towards you. Yeah, he's got his headphones in. He doesn't notice the parade of cats that go by him properly using a crosswalk. You get over to the
Hey,
other side.
hey, safety first. All right. So I'm like waiting for everyone to get across,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, well, from here it's pretty much just a straight shot down because we're down by the shoe store, right?
Mm-hmm. You are.
So we can just go straight down that street down by the shoe store to where Lord Sassafras is, because it's even that part of the park, right?
Yes. So you guys head down that way?
Yep. I think
You
so.
go along the side of the shoe store and you go along the side of those apartments, and there's a street there, and you begin to cross over, and you hear a loud sound coming from the gutter.
Huh? Can I
Hmm.
determine what the sound was?
Yeah, roll your senses.
Here we go.
Can I roll too?
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I have a 62 and I rolled a 17.
Oh my god, this
Okay.
is the third time in a row I've rolled double zeros.
Princess Snowball knows exactly what that sound is.
I got an 8.
I got an 8. Hey!
Yay!
Wow.
Wow, we all rolled.
Kirsch is picking up on things. It's, especially to Princess Snowball, it is an intentional, loud bang sound, and it's enough to turn everyone's head in the direction of that sound. But Princess Snowball, you know a fake out when you hear it, and you try and turn and spin and go the other way, but your way is blocked by 3 large, rough-looking raccoons. The raccoon in the middle says, "Not so fast. You guys are in big trouble." And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Ah!
Oh boy.
I was when you started building that up, I was like, "This is where she's going to end it. This is where I knew it." Because we were getting to about that time, and I was just like, "Oh, I was wondering if you were going to leave us on a cliffhanger."
Of course I have to leave on a cliffhanger. Thank you for listening to Chapter 6 of the 9 Trials, Squirrels with Secrets. If you're enjoying the story, consider supporting the podcast by becoming a Patreon member. You could earn an Inkborn.Studio, get exclusive content, or have an upcoming character named after you. Until next time, friends, try the orange chicken.